It's a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. I was going to start off by saying something about Happy White Wednesday, but
You could say that.
happy Tipsy Tuesday.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's very good. Very good. Yeah.
So welcome to a bonus episode of Flying for Flavor. This is called Just Cruisin. I wanted to bring together I want to call them super cruisers. My cruise fanatics.
Have we started?
Yeah,
Oh,
taping.
perfect. Okay,
So
sorry.
yes, I want to talk. It's okay. I want to get a perspective or have people who actually go on cruises often to share their experiences and why they love being on cruises, as opposed to just hearing it from professional market or business people.
Which gets annoying.
Yes, and I thought I'd ply them with cheese and wine, and that'll get everyone to come in. So we'll just do some quick introductions, just so that everybody has a chance to say hello.
Okay. I'm Chris Jones. I'm retired. I'm very good friends with a very lovely, very talented Donna Gatanko who works at Speedy Cruise Ship Center, who I call the Bobby Orr.
Who is sitting to my right, conveniently.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been on how many cruises? I think 10 now or 11. And I wasn't a cruise person before. And I love cruising. It's cool. It's great. Yeah.
Good.
And I'm Mary, Chris's spouse.
Better half.
Yes.
Better half.
Yes, and we have been on about 10 cruises, but
Yeah.
first with Donna,
Yeah.
many years ago.
I'm Lorena Racine. I've retired from Lamont University after 46 and a half years of working there. I don't know how many cruises I've been on, but I am
That many?
diamond on Royal.
What does that mean?
That's a big status thing.
We're working.
So it's more than 10 then.
We're working our way.
Holy smokes.
That's it.
No, well, anyways, well deserved after 46 and a half years, I would say.
Can I intercept for one second?
Sure.
You might want to edit this part out.
Sure, no,
Did you
no.
ever get me a fridge magnet from the Adventure of the Seas? You're supposed to get me a long time ago.
I've been asking for it. Sorry.
Okay. We always
Honestly,
get
I'm not
fridge
that
magnets.
spectacular.
I think it'd be funny actually to leave that in because I didn't realize fridge
Well,
magnets
We
were
don't
that
know.
big
We
of a
always
deal.
get fridge magnets for all the ships we put on. Put them on the side of the fridge. You got to, I don't know, 12 of them or whatever.
Okay.
But the very first one we ever went on, never got a fridge magnet.
And all the stops, we always get a fridge magnet.
Yeah.
All the stops, all the airports and
Yes,
all
we're
the stops.
fridges, yeah.
The
They
ports.
started this the second cruise, so now we've got to backtrack.
Yeah.
To the original
And thank
cruise.
God, thank goodness for the handles on the fridge, so you can see. Oh, there's a handle because it's all fridge magnets, right? So
Well, good thing for those.
But it's
good thing-
fun. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we'll make sure you got it. We'll have to get it.
Yeah.
So now I know I got to come with wine, cheese, and fridge magnet.
Well, no, just because Donna was supposed to give me. She was
Yes.
going to look into.
Could have brought you one from Portugal.
Oh, we have one.
Oh, do you?
Our daughter went there a couple
Yes.
years ago,
Yep.
so we have it's the rooster.
Rooster. I was just
the
going to say
rooster.
most souvenirs have.
There's
And
more
we
of a-
took our 4 kids on a cruise, and they said that it was the best. Well,
Yeah,
they said it was the
best
best
time, yeah, it was
vacation,
awesome. Yeah, it
best
was
time
good.
that they ever had. They were like
Yeah.
17 to 23,
Yeah.
I think, the age.
Every family's got to do it.
I'm dining, and I met up with two couples, and I'm still in contact with them.
Wow.
Actually, in September, I'm going, one of them is celebrating 50 years of marriage, and I'm going to help them to celebrate. And in November, another transatlantic with the other two.
It's not called the Titanic, is it?
No.
Get that straightened
I
over
don't
there.
think anyone's ever used that name ever again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Actually, I didn't want to do that either, but the few times that we had done the set dining,
Yeah.
We've
I've
actually
done it
had
for
great
years,
people.
but actually it was
Yeah.
really
Interesting.
meeting. It was.
Yes, I do.
And you know the funny
meeting
thing
with
is,
other people.
and the thing is, you can be. It's just like whether you can be as busy as you want to be. You can go to every card game or every bingo thing or everything, or you can just do nothing. And the same thing, you could meet people and sit and chat with people. You know, like my wife likes to do, or just like me and sit on your balcony and just read if you want to. You know, kind of thing. So I mean, sky's the limit, right?
That's right. That's
You
the
know?
whole idea of it.
That's the.
Okay, so let me, just so you can paint a picture, because we're not doing video for this. What
We did a video though.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not sure it was a proper one.
Yes,
Not
and
wearing the
I
glasses.
heard about the video, and it will not be in the show
I wasn't sure. I
notes.
was confused on what we were doing. So.
What describe to me what an average day on a cruise ship is like for you? How's that?
Each
What
one.
does an average day look like for people who are on a cruise ship?
I think it'd be whatever anybody wants, though. It can be as quiet
Yeah,
as
but
you
even for
want, or
you,
it
like
can
just
be
for
as
you, if you can
busy as
describe
want.
it about, like breakfasts or activities, and like what's your ideal day look like on a cruise ship? How's that?
I get up around 7.
Okay.
And I go walking, like there's one deck that you can go around. I walk on that one. and then I go up and have breakfast, and then I go back down to my room and shower and change, and then I go and lounge. If it's a sea day, I go lounge at the pool and with my embroidery and my books, and I just sit there, and people stop to look at what I'm doing and start a conversation. And there was one poor young guy that was on the crew. He says, "Oh, it makes me so lonesome for my mom because my mom does that." So he was attached to me, like anything that I want, he'd go get it for me, even if it wasn't his job.
Got the whole system figured out, don't you?
You know what's cool too with cruising is just kind of, I don't want to get all, United Nations on us, is how you see all these people from all different walks of life that are working on the ship, from the Philippines to Russia to Ireland to wherever, and they're all working on the ship, and they're the nicest people, and they're all going with the flow. I'm not talking about the passengers, but
Most of the river cruises, you're not getting into Paris on a ship. You know what I mean? Like these ones are right there, and if there's not, they're going to bring you. So there's a big difference, and you can walk because you're right there. So you're really seeing more. And a lot of the excursions are, sometimes you see excursions that you're going to someone's house, and that grandmother's going to teach you how to make bread. It's a very different, right? So. I think it's that, and there is ships that offer that, but this is just something. It's everywhere. You really are part of that culture.
Okay, so I can see that,
Yeah.
and that would be something that would really attract.
Yeah, for a lot of
us
people.
for traveling is that when that's why we choose specific destinations for that, right? So we had when we were in Spain last week, the city of town we went to, the city of town. I know it's a bad way to drop that in. So when I was in Spain last week,
have some more cheese.
the funny thing, well, not the funny thing, is that as much as I should have had big red flags when I was booking my restaurant reservations online, that there was no English option on the website, right? So that should have been a big hint. But when I got there, I have a little bit of Spanish. I can get by. I can read a menu. I can pretty much place an order, right? I can sort of kind of ask directions. I can manage it. Aside from our hotel reception, and I think we managed to find one person at a little shop across the street from us, and then there was one staff member within one of the first restaurants. Aside from that, most people don't even speak English at all, let alone understand. They just keep repeating themselves in Spanish. So it was this, but after the first day or so, you kind of just sink right into it. And it felt more authentic to be in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Where we've always chosen other destinations that are in those countries, but they're more tourist driven, where it's more cosmopolitan, right? Same thing. We were a couple of the towns. So the Algarves in Portugal, we were in Albufeira. Even in the winter, it's pubs, burger places. It is designed, or it's used to having so many tourists there that I don't think you get the same kind of experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that you would. So I'm thinking that the river cruises, because they can get to little places that maybe other boats can't get to, that you kind of
Get off the beaten path.
Yeah, and you know what? It's there. You can't even compare it, even because we've had people go on and say, "Well, there was no entertainment." Well, no.
Yeah.
That's really part of it.
Well, okay. Well, no, but that would have to
But
be.
look at how big the ship is compared to, right?
Yeah.
But you know what you do get for entertainment, sometimes they'll bring in a local person who might play guitar or sing or piano.
Yeah.
And then they'll get off to the next stop and they'll...
that's my style of...
Right? So it's quite different. Or somebody
Dinner
might
is
come in-
entertainment for me.
That's right.
So...
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's kind of like here I was saying, can't compare the apples and oranges with the resort to the cruise. Maybe it's the same thing with the river cruise. And that's one thing we were looking at. We came so close. We just haven't done it just because I'm retired, but my wife isn't yet. But
No, that's right.
once she does, that'll be a perfect opportunity.
That there is actually, and there's lots of private. They actually have bulletin
Everything
boards.
going
So that, like maybe it's other single people wanting to get together to meet to book tours or whatever, right? Yeah, lots
So
of
long
fun.
as you don't miss out on the one with newly married,
Yes.
that's so much fun.
The newlywed show,
Newlywed
eh?
Oh, isn't that
Yeah,
great?
that's the
You
best.
have to make sure.
Isn't the
that
entertainment
always-
unbelievable though? Like cheaper, some of the stuff you see, like
Yeah.
I don't mind watching them. Okay, there's a plus and minus compared from cruising to all over. They always have, even at resorts, always have these newlywed games, right, where they bring people, audience participation, I like to call them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind those things on cruise ships. They're not, because there's so many people, they're kind of staged a little bit. They've kind of pre-picked, chosen people. No, to a certain extent. It's not as bad as in resorts. I find where they're physically, it's easier. Someone's physically grabbing you and bringing you up on stage. So I've got to the point now when we go to resorts when they have those, we avoid going on the nights where they're having these audience participation things.
You don't want to be.
I don't want to be learning how to do a salsa with a balloon between my knees.
No, there's anything wrong with that. That's your thing.
That's just not my idea of entertainment. I want to watch other
Because
people
I have
doing it,
friends
but
that
I don't want to
exclusively
be.
salsa with balloons with their legs. So that's kind of, you know what I mean?
You know what though? It's I don't think I've ever heard of anything like the way they do it on the ship, because they bring out a newly married couple or a young
That's
couple.
hysterical, like.
The couple, like, you know, that's been married 20, 30
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Yes. And then somebody who can barely hear the questions. Who's
Yeah.
been married like 50 plus years.
yeah.
And I don't know why, but
That's
on every
fantastic.
single sailing,
Yeah.
There's
that's
always
how it is.
somebody.
And
And it's those people
Those
that
are-
tends to have been married 50 years and it's just like the old, what was it called? Was
dating
it the,
game. Was it dating game?
Well, something,
something like that.
No,
The newlyweds.
It wasn't the
Newlywed
newlywed game,
game.
but back in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
When they have to guess the same answer.
Yes.
Yes.
And that one of the questions is always at the end, right? And I've heard some crazy wild things from these people who've been married 50 plus years. Like you're thinking, oh, it's going to be so calm. Where? And it's always our question: where was the funniest place or the strangest place you've ever made nookie? And it's them, you know. Well, yesterday we were in the deck live, and I'm like, what? Oh my goodness!
So wait a minute. Now, when you say nookie, what are you referring to?
Yeah.
Is that the balloon
But
with
that's
the like,
yeah.
salsa? Oh, okay.
That's the question. That's how they phrase it. But it's always like, and it's. I've never seen anything like that at a resort. That something purely on a
And if
ship.
you know, with a couple, like we were like 30 some in our group, and one of from our group was a newlywed. Like this was their second marriage. They were on stage. Oh my Lord! It's so much funnier.
Yes.
Then, you know, and it's funny just if you don't know them, but it's even more
Lorraine, if you were to get a cruise ship tattoo, what would you get?
royal.
Royal Caribbean? Mm-hmm. Really? Is that right, eh? Huh. And you've been on various
No,
different
I've
ships?
been Royal and Norwegian are the only ones that
Really?
Really, and that many cruises?
Yeah.
Because you did 4.
Well, I don't know how many cruises I've been on. I'd have to think.
So with Diamond, it's over 80 days you've spent on a cruise. But
yes, but when you travel alone, you double your points.
oh, okay.
That's how come I'm.
Okay.
I guess the funny thing is yeah, you don't really pick. I guess maybe I do have a celebrity tattoo. I can't show it now, of course, but I think I'm a celebrity guy. I think I really like celebrity.
That's
but
what's convenient though. You started out Royal Caribbean, got your points, and now Lorraine, even though if you're Diamond on there, you would be celebrity as well, and Azamara.
What's your favorite ship, Donna?
You know what? I don't think I have a favorite, just because, again, with your family, it's completely different than if it was my husband and I. But I have to say, I'm to that point, I'm getting older, I guess, and I appreciate going on a cruise with less than 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And with very little children.
Yeah,
but only because that's my vacation.
And that's where you are in your
It
life
would-
right now, too.
That's
And you were born on a
yes.
pirate ship.
Yeah,
Which is the
so
other
that
thing.
is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, so everything's different. I mean, would I take my children on that type of, no.
No.
Absolutely
Would you be a
not.
celebrity too, man? Would you be a celebrity? Would you be?
My favorite ship was the Radiance of the Sea.
Oh,
That
yes,
was
that
the ship that we had for Alaska, and that's the ship we had for Hawaii, and it's the ship that I'm going to be having for Australia and New Zealand.
It is one
It's
of,
small, and it's you can't get lost on it.
it's one of their nicest ships, even though it is smaller, because they have that deck with the windows from the floor to the ceiling. And that it's
And
a
the
great ship for,
solarium,
yes.
Oh my Lord.
But you know, conversely, we were just saying this the other night. I don't know who we were talking to, but I mean, even those huge ships like Harmony, the one we've been on, the Epic, Allure. I mean, you're on there with what, 5,000 people, but you don't know it.
It's a mall.
But you don't know it though.
Yeah, you don't
It's
always
weird.
see them.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's like we were saying. Just who were we talking? We were talking about that. We were on the Harmony of the Seas. There's like 5,000 people in the ship.
I think it's the one that I was on.
But
That's the
it
one
was
that has
so-
Central Park in it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was just kind of.
I found the pool deck is the only time you've seen that many people.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah.
And Harmony wasn't as bad, I didn't think, maybe because the water slides.
I didn't think that one was bad at all. I
No,
was really
geez,
surprised
no.
by
Yeah.
that. And I was surprised by the amount, maybe it was time of year, that there wasn't a lot of kids, which I know sounds kind of
Yeah.
No,
But we did now
That's where we are in our
surprise.
lives right now. I think,
absolutely.
if we were sitting here with, It's a Small World after all, going on a Disney cruise or we'd be Disney all the way. And how many people have done that 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
I have 2 last questions. Bucket list destination.
Wow, nice.
Around the world.
I was gonna say
No, you can't say around the world. That's not really a specific definition.
123 days.
No, it's actually a cruise.
Are you
Oh,
kidding?
okay.
You know, that's
you
actually
want to
a
do.
cruise.
Okay.
Oh, you're
I
very
was
cruise.
just gonna. You can't say everywhere.
Yeah.
No, but
Mars?
I've looked
They
into
don't have water on Mars.
123 days. I've
Yeah.
already looked into it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's actually
if
a
you had
cruise.
to choose one destination, not an itinerary, because then you can choose different itineraries or cruise lines, right? Where is there a destination in the world that you haven't gone that you're itching to get to?
Fiji.
Oh,
And I'm going to be doing that on our way back from Australia and New Zealand.
of course you are. You're going to have an exciting year coming up, I
That
think.
is.
We are gonna have to get together again just to see the pictures.
Yes, obviously.
Oh my gosh. And then we're 5 days on land in Sydney. And then we leave 23 days cruising from Sydney to Seattle and stopping to Fiji and other islands that I don't know anything about. Hawaii.
Do you do Tahiti?
No.
No. Okay.
No. And then we fly back home from Seattle.
Wow, that's a trip.
That's amazing.
That's
Trip of a lifetime.
That is.
Until I get to do the
world.
Around the world. I was not expecting that answer when I wrote that down in my little notes.
I'm like, we actually sell lots of a lot of they sell out in 8 hours.
Wow.
Oceania will come out and usually they'll sell out some of them will 8 hours, like the full 100 and some days.
That one
yeah.
I cannot do on my own.
Yeah.
Because it's 20,000
Yeah.
Oh,
for
yeah.
one person.
Wow,
Yeah.
of course.
So I have to find somebody that can afford to come with me.
If you say that, but
That's a big shout out. If anybody
Yeah.
wants to do a round the world cruise,
I'd go with you, Lorraine, but I'm married.
she needs a partner.
If you sit down and actually start pricing out all these different spots, all these different places, it'd be pretty expensive just to go with you.
Well, I priced out just the cruising part of Australia and New Zealand and Trans-Pacific, 17,600 and something. That's for 90 some days of.
You have to plan it properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only advice you want to give, okay, here's what we do. This is the only negative thing about cruising. I found
It's
a
when
negative
you're
thing.
on a cruise and you book your next
you've had about
cruise
half a dozen
when you come.
margaritas and you go to the little room there to book your cruise. Yeah, we want the presidential suite and we want to go to Fiji. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we want butlers and everything else. Then you get the thing in the middle and go, what were we thinking?
How many margaritas do we have?
Holy
That?
mackerel.
Maybe we'll just go to a balcony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to be aqua
Same
class and we're
destination, yeah.
going to throw our buddy under the bus for booking that.
But that is a very good. They really do
Yes.
have
Excellent
good-
deals, yes.
To book a cruise when you're on a cruise is
Yeah.
definitely
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
And the amount
Big
that the
perks.
deposit that we put on,
No, it's nothing.
that goes into our onboard credit.
And a lot of times now you're getting all your, and that's the other thing people worry about, your gratuities, all that stuff. Now a lot of times when you book, you're getting that with it. That's
Correct.
cool.
Yeah, things have changed a lot over the last.
Remember the first time we used to have all
several
these
years.
envelopes? Remember you used to get all the envelopes and
We used to get envelopes, yeah, and then the we used to turn the TV on, and then ta-da! Here's your bill.
Whoa,
Yeah,
what's that?
yeah.
Or sliding the or sliding
The
the bill
first
on-
time was a bit of a
It was
hard
worse
palpitations.
before the TV when you got it on the last night
Slid under your door.
That was our first
I
one.
remember they going, I can't.
No,
this
and
one-
no alcohol package, right? So
Oh, yeah,
average-
that's exactly it. We've never got to
Yikes.
trouble with that.
I couldn't believe how much my wife drank. It was
So actually, those are big perks,
Yeah,
and a lot of them
huge.
are included now.
yeah. And they're becoming way more reasonable. I think they had to compete.
They had, I mean, they have to.
I you know what's funny is I think it's all gone up, but people just they started doing it for free, and it's like, oh, okay, so you got paying this price and that was all included, and now you're paying a little bit more and it's all included, and it just kind of grew, and you're like, okay, but as long as it's all included, I don't care.
And it is, and I think,
Yeah.
but even for myself, I think it's the fact of knowing in advance and prepaying for it and not having to worry
Yes.
about when you get
Oh,
there.
I
exactly.
agree.
And I think they've figured that out. It's not the fact that I'm looking for the cheapest deal out there.
No.
I just want to know what I'm saving up for, and then once it's paid for, I'm done. And
It's
I
all
don't have to
about
worry.
value.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what people don't understand sometimes. It's like, well, if this is what you really expect from your vacation, you know what, for a little bit more, well, you don't realize when you're on that ship, you're probably going to have that day where you have a couple of margaritas, like, whatever, buy that bottle of wine, buy that. So you know what it is. It's all about the value. And I'm like you. I'd rather, this is the price. I know what it is. Done. I don't want to be nickeled and dimed, right? So a lot of people want that more
Mind you,
one price.
Mary and I, we're getting looks. We're up at the ice fields in Alaska drinking blended margaritas of Patron in the middle of Alaska. We go, what's wrong with you people? We're Canadian. All right.
Because you can.
Because you can, yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
right.
For those of you who follow me on social media, you'll saw when we were coming through passport control leaving Lisbon. I snapped a shot of my husband managed to get a traveling glass of wine from the lounge. Going through customs and passport control, he still had his wine with him. I know.
That's
I know.
awesome.
He had so many high fives from guys on the way back through. But it was one of those things I didn't realize until he had gone through, and I was because you go through one at a time, and I was waiting on the other side of passport control, and he comes around, he still got his plastic cup in his hand.
Nice.
And I thought, okay, now that's a first. I don't know if that's legal.
You know
Who
what the
cares?
best part is? When you're on the ship, see that guy over there? He snuck on the ship with booze. Wow, that's awesome. That's crazy. It's a bit of a
Claim to fame, right?
Yeah, status.
You're talking about your bucket list destination.
Europe.
I don't know. Actually, there's so many different places.
Where haven't you been that you would that you would like to go? Like if you could go tomorrow, like where would you go?
Well, only because I saw a program the other night
Don't. That's what
for
I'm
the
saying.
northern New Viking one, which is a small ship. There's less than 1,000 people, and it's
750, eh?
the midnight sun. It starts out in England and goes up.
No, I think it's Brussels, maybe.
And it goes up north in Norway.
Yeah, it goes to Scotland, and then it
looked
goes. Yeah,
absolutely
just
amazing.
Yeah,
It was 15 days.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we had our credit card out and we're going.
Advertising works.
Yeah.
They almost had ya.
It was one of those hour programs on a specific, but there is a few others I'd like to do too. We want to do Hawaii.
Yeah.
You can
like
find
to do
where do you
Hawaii.
find to watch something an hour specific? Remember, I don't have regular television.
It's
so.
called Mighty Ships.
Yeah. Or what
There's actually a place called Mighty Ships.
Yeah,
Mighty
Mighty,
Okay.
and Mighty cruise ships. There's
Yes,
two.
yes.
And the nice
yeah.
thing
Is it a particular station?
No, you can probably pick them up on. I know
YouTube?
kids get it
It's
on
Discovery.
Apple.
Oh, Discovery Channel.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
And
Mighty,
you can zip
Mighty
through the-
Ships, Mighty Cruise Ships.
You
Yeah.
zip through the commercials.
Yeah.
And that's like we've been like Em and I have been pretty fortunate to travel. We've been all through Latin America. We went to Panama. We spent a week or
Yep.
12, 14 days in Panama. But we never we were just went to a resort there and we did one. I'd love to go through the canal.
Canal would be
We
very
will do
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Stags. Now there's a suit. Now they got the super Panamax
Yeah,
part of the
Princess
canal
went
open,
through
eh?
it first.
Did they really?
Yeah,
eh?
they're bigger
Wow.
ships.
I mean, I was at the canal, like I went and watched other boats go through. There's no cruise ships going
Yeah.
through it, but it's still
Yeah.
fascinating to see the history
Yeah.
and to be in there when,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, when we were there,
canals-
they were just starting to build the big Panamax, the bigger
Yeah.
locks.
They
eh?
went through it. Actually, I think it was like in the fall. Princess
Sorry, what's that?
was the first cruise ship through.
No, where's your bucket list?
Yeah.
What would be yours?
He obviously can't say what she said now.
Yeah, geez, thanks for that. Mars? They don't have water on Mars. What am I thinking? No, you know what? You know what the worst part is? Here's the worst part.
There's too many.
Okay, we'll
Yeah, there is too many.
And once you
Galapagos
start
looks
traveling, going on
amazing. That is
cruises,
one of them.
and you see, wow, look at that cruise. You know, there's one for the longest, I like that Mediterranean one where you to Venice and then you're down through Sicily, and that was one. And then I see this one there on the TV the other night, and like I say, we're sitting over there, Avion Visa card going, should we? Call Dawn on Monday? Let's wait. All right, wait. You know, I don't.
I didn't go on the site; it was all booked up for the year.
You did, yeah, that's right. You had to they're booking for
I
next
had to
June.
go and
She
look.
took the next step.
I did actually look. I was like, wow, that books up quick.
Actually, you know what a bucket one is? There's a real nice cruise. It's a river cruise. It goes from Wanapatay down through Nicaragua,
Yeah.
which is really nice. You get some nice. You get stuff, and I don't know. It's hard to say.
Or apparently, there's an amazing one in France in August.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, no, that's a really funny
yeah.
segue.
And the lady that runs it, she's unbelievable.
And it does actually, to be honest, it does look amazing.
Yeah.
It is, yes,
looks
it does
like
look
would
amazing.
be-
And just laughing because you were talking about the cruise down the Wanapatay. So for anyone who is not in the Sudbury region and is not familiar with the French River area, so our flyers for the cruise in Bordeaux, they were prepared by the head office for Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. So they didn't. I don't think they, and for Uniworld,
No.
I don't think they realized that we have a French river. So we were trying. So they used the terminology French river cruise.
Oh.
But when it's all in the same thing, it looks like it's a French river cruise.
A hosted French river.
A hosted French river cruise. So for people here in Northern Ontario, they're like, why would I want to spend that to go down the French River and drink wine with you?
It is. Well, because
I mean,
you know
you're
why?
fun and all,
you
but,
can
like,
soul with a balloon between your legs. That's the best part.
I probably
yeah,
could.
that's probably the best part of the whole thing.
But anyways, that's not the big.
Oh, all right.
I don't want to talk too much about that, but I do want to get Donna to give us a bit of an intro, to sort of a description from your perspective because you're more familiar with cruising. So just give us a quick overview about the cruise Bordeaux in August, just for those who don't know about it.
It is on Uniworld, which is a really amazing river cruise line. It is boutique style. So a lot of the ships are all the same. This is not like that at all. So the ships are top notch, the staff, and they're one of the cruise lines that have more, even though a lot of there's only a maximum of what you can put on a river, obviously. But these guys have done it where you have that extra space. They didn't put those extra cabins. So there's some cruise lines out there that will hold 170 some people. These ones hold 140, 130. Mm-hmm. So they make sure that you have that extra space. And the cruise itself is phenomenal. And of course, because of you, we're offering the extra wine tasting, and Uniworld is pretty excited that they're willing to pretty much let us do whatever we want.
That's just a scary thought. letting me rent the place.
But it's river cruising is a little bit different too, because they really do want you to experience the area. So Uniworld would have a different wine because it's all inclusive. Everything is included on the ship.
Which is that was a huge deciding. That was very exciting for me to hear that.
But you know what? For this cruise, I mean, it's wonderful, but it's kind of like, well, you're stopping at all these places, you're going to want to bring wine on anyways. So, and they encourage that. Yes, go ahead, bring bottles of wine, drink it if you want. You don't have to, like I said, so for this one, it's sort of a one-off because you're going to be actually including that. But yeah, people can actually buy wine whether you want to take it home, whether you decide, you know what, I bought 2 of this today. That was really great from this wine tasting we did. You know what, at supper, let's have it. That's a fine on river cruising.
And I can teach everybody on how to figure out which wines to bring home and which ones just to drink on the boat.
For a different perspective, you could actually talk to a couple of people here that went to your excellent presentation with Uniworld who are now really, really depressed that they couldn't go just because of time and other trips that were going on. Who've really been struggling for the last sort of month or so with depression and everything else because they couldn't go on the cruise. So we can use that perspective if you like.
Well, we're living it. We are going to have another information session, possibly 2, between now and the springtime. Yeah. So I'll maybe settle up with you and we can pick out a few dates and hopefully I can include them in the show notes tomorrow.
And actually Uniworld is coming back to our office in March.
Oh, well that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of schedule to do a redo for those of you who couldn't stick around for the whole presentation.
Well, nobody's here for the whole presentation. Just said because we were traveling to England, we were kind of... it comes down. Listen to us.
I know.
We only so many trips we can do.
It's like last week when I was in Spain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
I couldn't get there because I was going to head to England.
Only Lorraine can travel for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. We all had Lorraine's money, obviously.
No, that's her gift to herself. That's her retirement present.
When is it?
I leave February 4th from Sudbury.
Oh wow.
No, the 10th.
Yeah.
I leave on the 10th from Sudbury.
You come back on the 4th.
I come back on the 4th with Muriel is hosting one.
Yeah.
I'm on that one. I come back on the 4th. On the 10th, I leave for Toronto, stay overnight, and then start from Toronto flying out
for the
May 15th.
Wow,
you know what's crazy about the cruise ships too?
So you're doing a week before that?
No.
Well, with Muriel's hosted group, yeah. She's doing a Caribbean just to get in the mood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, pre-game.
Yeah.
She's pre-gaming in the Caribbean.
Fantastic.
That's a retirement plan all on its own.
Or the amount of people that go from cruise ship to cruise ship to cruise ship that don't.
Yes.
There's so many that I couldn't believe.
I think that's cool kind of retirement. There's always been the stories about people who have sold everything and all they do is live for a period of time and just stay on cruise ships and go from one destination to another.
Well, they say if you're an American and for what you pay, you can live on a cruise ship. Mm-hmm.
There are some people who do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they have their doctor there.
Yeah.
If they need it.
Yeah.
They have all their food, all their housekeeping, everything's done for them.
which you don't necessarily get in retirement.
That's
right?
Without paying
don't have
for
to
it.
do that.
Yes, exactly.
The service is pretty nice on a cruise, I have to say.
That would be a nice little retirement incentive, right? Someone coming in and cleaning your bed, cleaning your room, and making your bed
twice a
every
day.
day.
Every day.
Well, my wife has that now. It's called a retirement husband.
Retirement
Yeah,
husband.
the wheels are made. Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't, who obviously said, remember, he doesn't sit still, so he gets stuff too.
Yeah,
So if
sorry.
anyone else has any little household chores you need assistance with,
It's actually
can
working
throw
for
it
a
out there.
living.
Okay, so this is the last question, just because there might probably people who are listening who have never been on a cruise before. So
Do it.
one by one, I know. Okay, well we obviously get that part, but I want you to choose. If you had to choose a cruise for someone who's never been on a cruise before, what would you put them on first? Either
Alaska.
Alaska.
Well, you know what?
That would be the first one.
Okay,
to
with
get
a
them
particular
hooked.
cruise line.
I did it with Royal.
Okay, obviously because
Royal
you're.
Caribbean. Really?
Okay, so you're thinking Alaska would be your choice. What would be the first one that you would say that you think it would get people hooked?
I don't know, because they're all
Demographics.
different.
It depends. If you have young kids, like I know guys I've worked
Like
with.
Alaska was one of our, like it was
Yeah,
one of our,
oh,
I have to say,
yeah.
if you like that, like if
Yeah.
you, for the scenery, for everything, it was absolutely.
Like we did a cruise where we did all
beautiful.
the Martinique, Dominica, St. Kitts. Those islands are just they're well, and there's some of the newest islands. I say newest, like in terms of millions of years, as opposed to the other islands, which are these are volcanic. But every time we turn around, something's.
I don't know, and you know what? If somebody wants to see, and that's actually when we first, I think, went on. That was one of the reasons we went, and then also some friends that have been traveling.
Yeah.
A couple of them. Basically, that was one of the big was to see the different. Just to
Places.
see some, even in the Caribbean, just to see the different islands,
Yeah.
because you get like a little glimpse of.
Some are French, some are
At least,
Dutch.
so if you are even looking at wanting to stay maybe more a long term on a place or something, it gives you a little bit of an idea.
Like remember we went to Mexico, we got to one of the various stops in Mexico. We get there and then when on the pier, there's people dancing they're doing that salsa with the balloon between their legs.
Oh my gosh.
What is?
I just use that as an example.
Oh, I
It's
thought
like
you
you're
were on that
making it
cruise.
sound like it's an automatic
Oh,
thing.
well, it's just kind of weird.
I'm gonna have to do like a Facebook video now. Salsa. I have a friend of mine, Zoe, actually teaches salsa. So I'll
There
have to
we
ask Zoe,
go.
tell Zoe I need to do a demo with salsa with the balloon between her knees. She'll do it. Sell some classes.
So I think though with cruises is that maybe compared to resorts, I mean I'm not, but that there's so many different cruises and there's so many different ships and you know there's so many different like people on the ships that really you can
You've said that to me though.
you can pick one that's more
Yeah.
tailored to what you want. If you want a more scenic one, or if you want it more for a ship,
Yeah.
want it for what's on the ship.
Once again, Donna Gatang, who is
There-
the Bobby Orr of Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, how many times have you said that to us? Where we've been on, you said this was more about the ship than the stops. And it has been. Like the harmony
Yeah.
of the seas was just brilliant.
Yeah. And
Even
you know,
with 5,000 people, I'd still do it in a heartbeat.
And you know what? It's funny that you asked that question because I'm like, oh, there's no answer to that. That's no.
She had no problem.
Well, you know what?
Alaska.
No. But
Oh, yeah.
we,
Oh,
no, you know.
we all have
Oh,
our-
Alaska was-
That's
yeah.
the thing. What I think is great is not what you
Yeah.
think is great.
Correct.
So our biggest thing here is people come in, and sometimes they're really great, like, oh, they'll have questions. But then we'll have somebody come in and say, oh, my friend said I have to do this. And we're a little bit different. We try to ask more questions because we want to build that relationship. And we have great relationships with all the cruise lines because we're the #1 seller of cruise in Canada.
Little plug there.
Yeah. Well, no, but you know
Just
what?
saying.
Why? The reason that is because they come back and they say to us, you guys really usually put the right person on the right ship or the right line. Because again, although someone like Carnival, Norwegian, and Royal are all competitors, they're not competitors with Celebrity and Princess. And they're not competing with Oceania. Because you know what? They're all different. Correct. That's not for the same market. So our big question is, okay, so you're looking at doing this. What do you hope? What was your last vacation? What was your favorite part? Do you want to do that again?
That's a good
What was
question.
your thing that annoyed you the most? Lines. Well, you know what? Then there's certain cruise lines that we're going to avoid because lines are a point of life on that ship, right? Oh, it's all about entertainment. Okay, well, you know what? I think this line is better. There's less kids. The entertainment is not a value there. It's all about being a little bit quieter.
Yep.
Entertainment is better on these ships. So it really you could wreck someone's vacation if I just said, oh, everybody should do this. Well, you can't. It's like a resort though, right? Like, yeah, right? It's always the same. So with a couple of questions, there is a cruise line for everybody.
You know what I like about cruising too, which is kind of cool, is my wife, she tends to kind of carry on, where I'm more quiet, like sit back and just relax. So yeah, things
obviously.
like meet the captain, or get information on what on the ship. You can ask the restaurant guy any question you want in this thing, or you can sit in your room, watch the TV, know how deep the water ocean is, how fast you're going, and it's just, there's so much information, things you can learn. You know, I like to just read myself, but my wife, who likes to wander around and learn all these weird things.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There's something for everybody.
On my first transatlantic, I didn't feel the ship turning, but apparently it did turn because they had spotted something far away, white. So it's the law. They have to go and investigate. It was a fridge from the tsunami.
Come on! No. Now that's a cool story. I was just going to ask if you had any cool stories. That's a cool story.
Oh, I have others.
Or you know what's really funny about you go back to Alaska is after a while, there's killer whales off to the side. Yeah, okay. Do you guys want more margaritas?
Yeah.
You guys saw so many of them. It was like, yeah, there's more orcas.
Or when you wake up in the morning, you're like, that was a weird dream. I'm sure I heard the captain talking last night. And then you find out the captain, I think it was recorded though, because we could see the northern lights.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? So they came on in the middle of the night, but we didn't get up because we were like, oh, that must be a dream.
Because we're from Canada.
And I kicked,
Because we see those.
Oh no, I kicked myself for not going out on the balcony.
That would have been stunning.
How cool is this at nighttime when you're sitting on a cruise ship, to look off at the distance, see another cruise ship in the distance and the lights? And that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Pretty awesome.
That's probably one of the best views.
Or when you
right?
pull into a port and there's like 6 ships all there, you're thinking, how are you? Or watching, sorry about going on here.
No.
Watching in Fort Lauderdale, where you got 5 cruise ships sitting there. They the way they just between the thrusters pushing it out and it just spins 180 right in the middle, and
then they all do their horn fights.
oh yeah, it's just.
Yes.
The sail away parties are probably the best. Whether you drink or whether you don't. I mean, the dancing, the good times.
And as you're sailing out, especially Miami, because you tend to right beside the ships. Where Fort Lauderdale, you're kind of there's about 11 different.
Yeah.
But you know what? When Princess had their 50th anniversary, of course, Princess being Love Boat.
That's right.
That would be the song they would play leaving, and everybody's like, "Oh, come on!" So everybody else was playing their horns to.
And I'll bet you every single person was singing the Love Boat song and singing it out of there. Absolutely.
And I was on a ship, and I don't know. It must have been couldn't have been a Celebra. It must have been a Norwegian, I think it was. And every time, sometimes you follow the ships along. You're doing Eastern Caribbean or Western. And every single time the captain would come on, all right, so we're just waiting for Monster of the Seas to pull out, which was one of the Royal Caribbean largest ships. Yeah, that's what they called it. Monster of the Seas is pulling out, and then we're going to go. So it's funny that they all kind of...
They all know each other.
That's right, because they all...
How cool is the malls on these ships? Like these little concourses where you're walking through, and like you could be an eat center. Like you don't even, it's unreal. It's.
And some of them are like what they have on them now is what I think that.
Yeah.
I took my children on a Canada New England cruise, and which was my daughter, who was 17 at the time, her bucket list, and.
There's the destination
exactly.
you expect for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, and you know what? They loved it. But the ship we were on, Anthem of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. And, where else do you get to go and check out, Halifax, walk around? We had relatives there, so we got to visit that. And it's like, okay, let's go do bumper cars now on the ship. And, a tightrope walk. And, they just have everything. Let's do surfing. We got to do the I-Fly, where you're, it's simulated jumping out of a plane, right? And that's all included. So there's just no other vacation. I don't know if you could go to a resort and get all that.
No. And the thing is, you're not, no matter how many people are on the ship, there doesn't ever seem to be...
Yeah.
The lines are a little bit, but they're not, stupid where you're going, there's too many people who are not doing this. Other than you don't want to be embarrassed like an idiot falling off like I would. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of...
Yeah, there's something for... No matter what your family or your person, there is something for everybody.
You got to cruise.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I feel like that's got to be a good clothing. I almost want to stop it there. We'll have to have an after party and talk after we finish.
Yeah.
I'll do my last little cleanup stuff, and then we can finish telling each other.
If you have a cruise, you're out of your mind.
So we talked about the Bordeaux cruise, which is August 19th departure. I will have the link again. It's always at the bottom of every show notes for every episode, from now right up until when we're closing closing off the thing later in the spring. So May, June is basically when we're going to be closing it up. There's a limited amount, as she mentioned. It is a very small boat as compared to other ones for a river cruise. So all you have to do is put down a deposit now, and then you can basically take care of it afterwards by contacting the 1-800 number and the email address that are on the flyer. You can reach our Sudbury office, and you can basically book and meet us from anywhere.
Yes.
So if you are listening to this episode from the States, if you're listening to it from Australia, if you're listening to it from South Africa, anywhere you want to go. Pardon?
Do you have people like that listening?
Oh, I have friends in all those places.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
So in Australia, put another shrimp on the barbie.
Okay. Okay, Scott, you heard that? So it's yeah.
Wow.
No. So if wherever you're listening, if you want to come meet us in France in August, we'd love to have you. I think the more the merrier. It'll be a lot of fun. So all the information is going to be there. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to all of
French
the
people come in there? They could just probably drive.
They could probably go to France. Same. Yeah, they could probably drive. I know there's a couple people that may be listening in from London. So that's just a quick little.
And how about
jump.
old Harry there, right? Like that.
Okay, well, Harry's obviously not going to come on my
but
cruise.
still, that's good.
Anyways, show notes for this one, because it's a bonus episode, not following the usual format. You'll be able to find it under stephaniepichet.ca/cruise. And then that will take you to, or you can always go to flyingforflavor.ca and then just scroll down till you find the episode that says just Cruisin'. Well, I hoped you enjoyed that little bit of a casual chit chat with some crazy cruisers. I'm back at home now, just sort of filing up my notes because I got to get ready for another episode coming up for the Saturday. So this Saturday's regular scheduled episode with my favorite crew back at the studio is all about the new Canada Food Guide. So if you have made a resolution in January talking about health and everything else, our Canadian government has actually made some new recommendations that might be a little bit different than what you were taught in grade school back in the day with that little triangle diagram. So you'll learn a lot about what the changes are, and there's a lot of controversy. There's some farmers up in arms, and there'll probably be more than one opinion in that room of ours on our taping on Friday. And I also brought back some white port for everyone to sample while we're having this little chat. Doesn't quite go fun atmosphere, serious talk, but we'll make it work. I'm also heading this Thursday. I'll be at the Union de Grand Cru Bordeaux tasting in Toronto. It is my annual trek to go and see what new Bordeaux releases are arriving to Canada, and I will have my usual picks. I will do a quick blog post, and if I have enough time to tape it, I'll do another bonus episode, which will be uploaded sometime next week. So if you have any suggestions or any other wine or cocktail events that you know of in Ontario that you think I really should get myself to, or if there's particular topics that you think that our flavor crew needs to bring up for 2018, you can always reach us at flavor@stephaniepichet.ca. So once again, thanks so much to Donna Katanko at Expedia Cruise Ship Centers here in Sudbury, as well as Chris, Mary, and Lorraine for spending a not so chilly for a change Tuesday evening with me chatting about their love of cruising. I don't know about you, but I'm really starting to look into more cruises for the next year or two. The cruising industry has definitely changed from when I first went on a cruise many years ago. Now with all of the all-inclusive options, different boat sizes, more specific itineraries that are available, especially through the river cruising, I'm really seeing some possibilities of getting to places that you normally wouldn't. So again, everything will be in the show notes, stephaniepichet.ca/cruise. And in the meantime, this is Flying for Flavor, and we will catch you next Saturday. Take care.